Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to the NPOV podcast. My name is Dan, and I am so glad to have you guys here with me today. So let's get into the episode. Okay, y'all, a little life update. So we are currently in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, which is honestly insane. Like, it's actually insane because, like, this whole month just flew right by. And I've been spending a lot of nights in the mosque, like, lots of nights in the mosque, just like, locking in. And the craziest thing is, I have just recently been running into a lot of my childhood friends. Like, I haven't seen these girls in decades, which is so insane. But it's always nice to see them. It's nice to catch up. Um, but yeah, it just had me just thinking about like all the types of friendships that I had. The fact that some people stay for a season and some people stay for a lifetime. And being in my early 20s, friendships have been just like a little weird just because growing up, we are around the same people. We have our friend groups, we all go to school together. Like, we have a lot in common, and also we're very close, like proximity wise. Like, you're gonna see your friends Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, whatever it is. And a lot of the time those friendships are out of convenience, which I'm not saying that they didn't mean anything, but it was because of proximity and convenience. Um, and then you move on to middle school, high school, same situation. You go off into college, you join clubs and all these things, like all these organizations where um, you're around the same people and you get to like build relationships off of that. But once you kind of get out of school and you're into the real world or whatever, friendship just takes a huge turn. Like, you don't see people every single day. You don't really keep in touch with a lot of people. Some friendships fade and some kind of hang on by a thread. And honestly, that's just the reality of friendships in general. And honestly, I've had so many different kind of friendships in my life. I had the easygoing ones, the ones that are just a little bit surface level. I've had really deep connections with people, and I also had just friendships that just drift away. And it's not because of anything bad. There's no big blow up, there's no drama, no hard feelings. It's honestly just that we're moving in different directions in our lives, and we're trying to build our dream lives and figure out who we are, and that just might not align with each other. And I just come to a realization that that's okay. Like, I don't need to hold on to every single friendship, and not everybody is meant to follow you into every version of yourself. And some people may think that's sad, but honestly, I just think it's natural because we're all on our own journey. We're all trying to figure it out. Some people might move away. And some people might just get busy, meet new people, and just slowly drift away, and that's okay. But honestly, that doesn't mean that that's the end all be all. Like, it's like, okay, you're out of my life, great. Because sometimes people come back into your life and you're a different person, they're a different person, and you guys just hit it off once again. And I wanted to bring that up because one of my closest friends, we knew each other our whole lives. Like, I'm talking about from like elementary school, and we didn't really become close friends until college. Like I knew of her, she knew of me, but we weren't really like locked in until college. And honestly, I believe that it's because of the timing, because people will come into your life at the right time. People might come in the wrong time. And maybe you guys connect once again and you guys hit it off. You know what I mean? It's all about timing. It's all about energies, and it's really all just about where you are as a person. Like, you need to understand your values, beliefs, and just like where you are, what type of friendships you're looking for in order to actually connect with people. Because me personally, I like low maintenance friendships. I'm not a person that likes to text somebody every day. I'm not a good morning, good night person. Like, I'm just really not into that. And I'm not saying this to look cool or nonchalant or anything. I just don't feel like I need daily check-ins or long check-ins to feel close to somebody. There's so many people I'm just locked in with. Like, I genuinely love people and I will show up for them regardless. Um, but I don't feel like we need to like have daily conversations in order to feel closer to be friends. You know what I mean? And honestly, that doesn't mean that I'm a lazy friend or I don't want to hang out with you or any of that. And some people might read it off like that. Like, there's so many people that are just like, okay, like maybe you just don't like me enough. It's not necessarily that, but it's just like I like my space, I like my alone time, but I also like would love to hang out with you occasionally. But if I see you every single day, that's kind of crazy. Like, genuinely, like I will feel overwhelmed. I'll feel a little suffocated if I have to see you every single day or if we have to hang out every single day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like low maintenance friendships, and a low maintenance person is not going to match with a high maintenance person. And I wouldn't want to change somebody else and be like, well, you like stop texting me every day or this or that. You know what I mean? It honestly just means that friendship might not work out, and that's okay. And it's also nobody's fault. Like, it's not your fault for liking your space, or it's not your fault because you want to like be more friendly or hang out with your friends all the time. It's literally nobody's fault. And honestly, I've had multiple friendships that I did try, right? But then people were asking, or that particular person was asking way more than I had to give. Like, honestly, I can't constantly be texting you back or answering your phone calls. Like, I had friends call me multiple times in the middle of the night for something that wasn't even serious, just for like a chat. And I'm like, y'all, I was sleeping. Like, I need my sleep. Um, and I'm just like, there needs to be boundaries, and I love my boundaries. Like, I like to set boundaries. um and so, like, I really just like more of a low maintenance friendship. Like, a lot of my close, like, I would consider them close friends. um I would go weeks without speaking to. Like, I wouldn't speak with them for a couple of weeks, and then we'll link up, we'll have a good time, we'll laugh, and it's like nothing changed. You know what I mean? um and I'm not saying that low maintenance is better than high maintenance. Like, we're all different. We all want something different in relationships. And I'm just a person that likes more of a low maintenance type of vibe. And honestly, to me, it's all about the vibes, right? And sometimes we don't really talk about this because I know a lot of people don't like the word frequency waves or whatever, but it's just really how the world works. Like, everything moves in waves. Light comes in waves, sound comes in waves. Our brain works on electrical impulses, which are practically waves. So it kind of makes sense that energy between people also work in the same way. Like, when you meet somebody and your energies are on the same wavelength, it honestly just works. Like, you just like click, you know what I mean? And the reason is, like, your energies are on the same wave, where the patterns really just align and it just amplifies. That's why it flows easier, conversation feels natural, and you feel like you're in sync with each other. And I feel like those are friendships that usually work out. And we've all had like people that we just didn't match energy with, you know what I mean? And when we're on different frequencies, it tends to flatline. Like, you feel like you're forcing connection and you're trying to like keep the conversation going or something, but you feel uncomfortable, they feel uncomfortable, and it's just like a misalignment there. And there's also times where you actually sync up with somebody and you guys are good, but eventually you guys drift. And that wave just becomes like smaller and smaller until it flatlines. And that's also totally fine because people change, and it's okay. Like, literally, me and a lot of my best friends when we were younger aren't really close now, and we don't really talk. And that's just because we took two different directions in life. People change, and that is okay. People come in your life for different reasons, and they help you kind of shape who you are. Like, I feel like a lot of the relationships I had helped me shape who I am today. And yeah, they might stay for a season or they might stay for a lifetime. They both matter in the long run, if you guys get what I'm saying. Anywho, I feel like I talked a lot about like the different types of friendships that you can have, and just like how to maintain friendships. But let's talk about actually making friendships as an adult. Cause when you're younger, you gotta be friends with the kid sitting next to you, cause you guys are gonna be here for a while. You know what I mean? But now you have to like actively find friends and look for different connections. And it is one of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever had to do. Like, I was so nervous on making friends when I went into college. I was so nervous on like even showing a little bit of my personality in different settings. Like, I was just really quiet for so long, and it was mainly just because like I didn't want to accidentally offend somebody, or I didn't want people to not like me. So I just like distanced myself for so long. um like, even like when I was at work, like people would make a joke and I'd just be like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, damn, like you can giggle, it's okay. um so honestly, like the biggest advice I would have is, do not overthink it. The more you overthink, the more you're going to cause yourself anxiety, and the more you're going to put yourself into a corner, right? And it's just like, everybody is cool. Like, I feel like whenever I even had a conversation with a stranger, they ended up being so cool. And we had like a good conversation. It doesn't even have to be serious 95% of the time. And honestly, it can just be good vibes. Just like say something, you know what I mean? Um and yeah, like I feel like in today's day and age though, like a lot of people are like, why are you talking to me? But it's kind of nice having conversations with strangers. Like, I would honestly go to a coffee shop and talk to the person sitting next to me, um whether it's about something small or I don't know. But you like, sometimes you have to be the person to initiate things. You have to be like, hey, like, let's talk about the weather, like whatever it is. um and I feel like initiation, like once you start like get into the practice of doing it, the easier it becomes for you. Because in the beginning I would always like somewhat overthink. Like, I would low-key a little stressed because of it. And I was just like, okay, like, I feel like people are cool. Say what you want to say that compliment. Because sometimes like like my go-to is complimenting people, whether it's on their outfit or whatever it is. Like, I like to compliment people. So I feel like that's just like a good conversation starter to begin with. So yeah, just like compliment a stranger and see how it goes. Another way is like everybody's go-to is sign up for a class, join a group, whatever it is. And for me personally, I don't like to be bombarded with a bunch of people I don't know. I know that sounds crazy. Like, yeah, join a book club, you'll meet people. But I usually just get so overwhelmed. Like, I like to kind of build my friendship friend by friend. Like, if I meet somebody, maybe we can go to a class and like get closer or meet somebody else. You know what I mean? But yeah, I tend to get overwhelmed when there's a bunch of people just like coming at me like a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say take a class if you want to take a class. Talk to a stranger if you want to talk to a stranger. Just compliment the girl at the coffee shop, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And honestly, that can be the beginning of a friendship. Another thing is, you gotta be yourself. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be overly interesting. You just honestly just have to be yourself. Because when you put on a front, it's like you're playing this character over and over again. You're gonna be exhausted from playing that character. And honestly, I know this is like such like a Google search or Pinterest thing, but there is honestly nothing wrong with you being yourself and just being able to goof off, laugh, have deep conversations. Just be yourself. You don't have to be the therapist, or you don't have to be the overly interesting, creative, you know what I mean? Like, just be who you are, because there's genuinely nothing wrong with you. And once you realize that, you're able to make that real connection with people. And honestly, people love real. Like, everybody loves when people are real with them. Like, you don't have to be a specific way or whatever. And honestly, not everybody wants to be your friend. You don't want to be everybody's friend, and that is also okay. Like, you can't hold on to people, you can't force things, you know what I mean? So yeah, just be yourself. And I just wanted to like build off of that, because like once you actually start being yourself and not having to put on a front, you just find a lot more peace in the people who stay, because not everybody's gonna like your personality, and that is fine. So instead of constantly chasing people or trying to make them stay in your life, you just have to let them go, because that person wasn't meant for you. Like, y'all were never supposed to mesh. So just let them go. And you'll find a lot more peace in the people that stay, because like those people genuinely like you. Those people like you for you. And those friendships have a lot more meaning. And I feel like that's more important than having a whole number of friends where a lot of them honestly don't even like you, or are just staying because you want them to stay. You know what I mean? So yeah, just let things flow naturally. Because friends will come and go. Some you want them to stay, but then you can't force somebody to be your friend. You know what I mean? Last but not least, I feel like this one is very important, especially to me, and it's honestly just not keeping score. And I feel like this is not just important in friendships, but it's also important in relationships, because it's not a competition and it's not transactional. Like, if I'm gonna text you, I'm gonna text you because I want to text you. It can be 2 a.m. in the morning, it can be 3 a.m. in the morning, but I don't expect you to text me back as soon as possible. And it doesn't mean that you're not prioritizing your friendship, or I don't prioritize our friendship. It honestly just means I completely understand that that person is busy and they also have their own thing going on. So if somebody takes 2 hours to reply and I see it right away and I have time to reply, I will reply. And honestly, I feel like it's a little petty to be like, I'm gonna wait 2 hours to respond because that person took 2 hours to respond to me. And I'm just like, it's never really that serious, because we're all just like living in our own lives. And honestly, people are busy, and it's not necessarily that they're not prioritizing that friendship or whatever, but it's mainly just because they're busy. So I honestly wouldn't even have the right to be taking it personally. You know what I mean? Like, why would I take it personally that you're living your own life, building your own dreams, and doing your own thing? You know what I mean? And honestly, that whole mentality is exhausting. Like, for me personally, if I bring you coffee, it's because I felt like it. If I reach out, it's because I care. I respond when I can, and I trust you will too. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to mirror my efforts or whatever. And like, the more you keep score, the more exhausted you'll get. Anywho, that is honestly how I feel and approach a lot of my friendships. I feel like it should be a lot more peaceful. It should move with ease. It's not about perfect timing or constantly texting or keeping score. It's a lot more about the connection that you have with them. And it's really just about finding people whose energy feels good to be around, and just being able to show up with more love and not expectation. And honestly, just realizing that people come and go in life and you can't force somebody to stay. And a lot of the time it's just because you guys may have different beliefs or values, or maybe it could just be that you guys are in different points in your lives, or it could honestly just be naturally drifting away, and that is okay. Because at the end of the day, the right people will come, and the energy will be immaculate, and y'all will be vibing, and some people might stay for a lifetime. You honestly just really don't know, so you just gotta, go with the flow and be in your own peace. Anywho, I am gonna end the episode here today. Thank you guys so much for listening. And if you guys like this episode, please feel free to leave a comment and review. And if you guys love this podcast, please feel free to share it with friends, family, whomever you think will like it. If you guys ever want to connect, I am on socials at EonsPOV. I really do love hearing from you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next episode.